good game.
The Call of Duty brand is now so popular and well known that it's become almost synonymous with the first-person shooter genre. In fact, we occasionally hear non-gamers refer to FPS as just Call of Duty. Well, the blockbuster of bombs and bullets is back to rake in the big bucks with Modern Warfare 3.
I'll admit, I sat down to play this game with my Battlefield hat on. I know I'm a Battlefield fanboy, and with good reason, because it's awesome. But after a few hours with this campaign, I slowly took that hat off, because I started to remember just why Modern Warfare 2 was so addictive, more so than Black Ops, and it's because of that instant, fast-paced online action and those big explosive moments in the single-player campaign.
From the moment you pick this up, no matter what controls you're using, your mouse or gamepad just fuses to you in a symbiotic relationship that will see you proning and nading and strafing like a pro. But let's start with the story. Modern Warfare 3 is a direct sequel to Modern Warfare 2, and throughout the campaign you'll see some familiar faces, such as the tashy Captain Price and Soap, who has a weird name, which is why we remember him.
Hex, I tried so hard to follow the story this time around. I listened to every single bit of loading screen dialogue and every single story moment. I wrote it down and I tried to follow it, and I looked at my notes, and still I have no idea what's going on, except Russia are invading the world and they want all the things.
Well, that's pretty much it, Bajo. The single-player campaign is a little under 6 hours, but it's a seriously exciting ride. You need to take breaks occasionally though, because it's such a frantic pace all the way through. Never seen such crazy action in a shooter before. At every step there's something crashing, or falling apart around you, or exploding, and before you even have time to work out why it was exploding, the next exploding thing grabs your attention.
All the helicopters in this game are doomed. They all blow up. You can't trust them. In fact, you can't trust anything. Oh, look at this. This is a nice plane. I wonder what... Oh, explosions. Oh, it's broken in half. Oh, this is a beautiful Eiffel Tower. Oh, explosions. It's broken, falling over. I think what's remarkable here, though, is the seamless way they pull you through this game. It's very light on quick-time events, and there's no hand-holding here. There is the odd bit of when will this wave end, but there are some truly inspired setups, such as Inception Plane, and this incredible car chase. Excellent levels, Hex.
Yeah, they're very flashy and very impressive. I didn't really like those stealth sections though, Bajo. Those bits just felt like waiting, moving a bit, then waiting, and they hurt the pace of the game. I mean, it felt like they were just there because stealth is an expected part of the formula.
Yeah, but how good is that AI? It just felt so reactive here, much better than previous CODs.
Yeah, the AI is definitely solid. If you race ahead, your teammates will catch up intelligently. Then if you fall behind, when you reach them, it won't look like they're stuck there waiting for you. Many melee kills can't help but feel a little bit unfair though. Your teammates just won't look after you.
I have to rant a bit about the graphics though, Hex. Even on console it's a little bit disappointing, but especially on PC, which has such limited graphics settings. It only goes up to 4 times AA. I can't remember the last game that had that kind of restriction. This is definitely a console port.
Yeah, it's hardly a bad looking game though. I mean, there's an amazing amount of polish to the engine.
There is, but I guess I'm talking more about the textures and the lighting and the shadows. You know, I just want all that to be more complex. And it's not a bad thing that we find this dated now visually. Games are so good now. It's impossible not to compare this to Battlefield when it's come out in such close proximity, and it just raised the bar in both those departments. I guess a good example is the grenade sounds. When a grenade goes off in this game, it's kind of nothing, you don't really notice it. But when it goes off in Battlefield, that impact on your senses is so intense. So I just really found myself missing that sound design more than anything else. But let's move on to the multiplayer. Call of Duty has shaped the online shooter landscape ever since COD 4 came out, so we were very keen to see what Modern Warfare 3 was going to do.
We played this mostly on PC, and while we were happy to find that there are now dedicated servers, we were completely baffled to find that they were only unranked. This will of course help out those who just want to war and play competitively because they won't have to find a reliable peer-to-peer host first, but I mean it's just like they're actively trolling PC gamers who really just want dedicated.
Yeah, peer-to-peer PC matchmaking is so unreliable. It's only as reliable as your weakest ping, and it just takes one person to ruin the whole experience. I don't know why they're not doing it. I don't think I sat in a single round without someone complaining about lag. In my personal experience with this game though, I think it was better than Modern Warfare 2. I spent half that game just trying to get a match, but here I think it is more reliable, but even so, Rage Central.
But, you know, jumping into an online game is a super quick process. You can have a match loading within 10 seconds of launching the game because of the functional, albeit ugly menus. And you also level up your weapon so that the more you use a gun, the more things you'll unlock for it, some of which are actually perks.
And now you have the choice in your streaks too, Assault, Support or Specialist. Assault is your usual choppers and Predator drones. Support will let you put down flak jackets for the entire team, as well as other defensive measures. And Specialist will let you gain extra perks the more kills you get. The good thing about Support is if you're not very good at getting those kill streaks, they don't reset upon death with that pack, so you can still feel like you're contributing to the team.
All the multiplayer modes are back with a new one called Kill Confirmed. In this mode, if you kill someone, it won't count towards your team's score unless you collect their dog tags before the enemy does. It gives you something extra to think about and forces people to come out of hiding. So it's quite fast-paced and not really a mode for anyone who likes to, you know, sit back and snipe.
The levels I found were quite detailed, and I think I preferred the slightly bigger ones more. They all feel very familiar though, almost like they're straight out of Call of Duty 4 or Modern Warfare 2, like they've used some of those assets and areas, and so some of the impact was lost for me because there wasn't one which really stood out. But I think they'll grow on me, and they are all quite balanced, and there's very few spawn location problems, and plenty of sniper spots and choke points to battle over.
There is monthly DLC promised for this game though, so there are more maps to come. There's also the new COD Elite service, which had a bit of a rough start and we weren't actually able to check any of it out due to it being throttled, but the free version of COD Elite has some nice features, especially if you're in a clan. The paid version is going to be for those who are serious about clan customization and sharing longer videos of their exploits online and learning strategies, but yeah, we haven't been able to test out any of this yet.
The good news is theatre mode is back regardless of whether you're a member of COD Elite or not, and it just records every single move you make without any impact to your system, and it's just fantastic. I wish every shooter had this. But before we wrap this up, we should talk about one of the best things about this game, which is Spec Ops.
Yes, and there are two parts to this. Survival is where you face off against waves of suicide bombers. Airstrikes, standard and heavy goons until you can't take any more. It's a well-made wave mode with all the usual features we've come to expect, but then there are the missions.
Yes, and these are excellent, and there's heaps of them. Many are based around moments from the campaign, and you'll really need to communicate with your partner to get through them and retrieve intel.
That was stressful. Careful, there's another turret out there still.
Rescue hostages, save the president. There's stealth and covering missions too. They've done an excellent job with them, but we should wrap this up, Hex. Final thoughts?
Well, I think fans will like the multiplayer changes. You know, scoring feels a little bit more balanced than Blop, so you could just steamroll if you got a few lucky breaks. The first few hours online are pretty tough, but it gets better really quickly, and it's a satisfying quick fix shooter. I just didn't feel like it was different enough to really lose your brain over, so I would give it a healthy 8 out of 10 rubber chickens.
Yeah, it doesn't really feel different enough online at all, does it? They've stuck to what works and refined it a bit, but it's still quite samey. You do feel like you're always achieving something though, and that single player campaign is just excellent, and I love Spec Ops, so I think it's worth an 8.5 out of 10 rubber chickens.